I'm not sure what time it was when once again I was awakened, but this time it wasn't my brothers that were waking me up. It was a most perplexing feeling in the pit of my stomach. It felt like I had two squirrels inside my belly fighting for the same acorn. From across the room I heard Benjamin whimper, "Oh, I don't feel so well." As I began to move my hands toward my tummy, my bottom discharged into my diaper with the force of a hurricane, and it sounded of a bomb had gone off. I was never so glad to be wearing a diaper before, and just as I thought I was done, a second bomb detonated and I filled my diaper again with hot liquid but gravy. I heard Benjamin pounding across the floor past my bed heading toward the bathroom, and I knew he hadn't made it when I heard him near the door crying quietly to himself. Those dang peaches. I thought to myself, they must have been bad, and in fact they were. In the dark we had no idea that the jar we had opened was filled with peaches that hadn't sealed properly and had gone bad in the jar. That's the thing about peaches, unless you can look at them and see that they are brown, you'd never know from the taste whether they were spoiled or not. Benjamin must have got the door open slightly before soiling himself, cause I distinctly heard someone in the bathroom. It sounded like someone was repeatedly dumping buckets of water into the toilet from a great height. And then I heard a moan that could have only come from Vincent. The sound was deep and forceful, as if he were trying to lift a 10-ton boulder over his head. The hallway light came on, momentarily blinding me, and then I could hear Connie asking Vincent, "Are you all right in there?" "Oh God, Khan. Get Dad fast." Vincent cried out, not even trying to quiet his voice. Benjamin must have still been standing by the door, and I thought that because I could hear what sounded like someone blowing bubbles in their milk. I figured he was filling his pajama pants the same as I'd done to my diaper. Those two squirrels were still fighting inside my stomach, and as I tried to sit upright I began to vomit. I don't mean just a little spit up, I mean I hurled with the force of a cannon. If my mouth had been closed, I honestly believe I would have blown the front of my face off. It was as if someone had connected a hose to a fire hydrant and shoved the other end up my bottom. I wanted to stop, but it kept coming out of my mouth. Poor Benjamin had been closer to me than I thought and received the full brunt of my stomach's contents. I puked so hard and so long that I remember thinking that I was going to suffocate, cause I couldn't breathe. To top it off, the light in our room came on, burning my eyes as I continued to spew peach-scented evil onto the kneeling body of my youngest brother. The best that I can figure is that as Benjamin was trying to run for the toilet, a stab of belly pain had caused him to double over and fall to his knees. It was only dumb luck that he happened to fall right where I was about to throw up everything I have ever ate in my entire life. As my eyes adjusted to the light and the delouse coming from my mouth stopped for the moment, I could see Benjamin bent over on the floor looking like some sort of mutated blob having just been born. Exhausted, I fell back against my pillow, gasping for air. The scent of peaches in the air was intense as I lay there with sweat pouring off of me like I'd just come in out of the rain. The next thing I knew, Pa was leaning over me, whipping my face, neck and chest with a wet rag. I had just enough time to say, "Pa," before I again vomited, this time all over Pa, the floor, my bed, my pillow and myself. Between heaves I was able to catch a glimpse of my fellow nighttime cupboard raiders. Vincent was sitting upright in bed with a bucket between his legs and his head shoved down inside it. Benjamin was standing at the foot of Vincent's bed while Connie pulled a pair of my plastic pants up over the thick cloth diaper he was wearing. The three of us spent the next few days lying in bed, sicker than I think any of us have ever been in our lives. Though none of us remember it, we were told that Doc Wilson had come to see us the following morning despite the enormous, throbbing goose egg he had on the back of his head. I don't even remember him or anything else for over 3 days. We later found out that all three of us had a very bad case of food poisoning. We had fevers over 104 and we were mostly cared for by Megjin, Connie and Kathy. I found it odd that neither Benjamin nor Vincent seemed the least bit upset when they found out that they had been kept in diapers that whole time. Even after our fevers broke, we were too weak to get out of bed, and yet they didn't fuss about having Megjin and our sisters changing us. Vincent took longer to recover than Benjamin and me. His fever didn't break until late in the fourth day, and only yesterday was he able to hold down some water and a little chicken broth. In our fevered state we had confessed to sneaking down and eating the peaches. I mean, why wouldn't we, since our room reeked of peaches and still does to this day. Vincent seems to think that it was good that we confessed when we were so sick, cause Pa'd never tan us when we were nearly dying. The more I think about that, the more I think Vincent is right. Pa had gone through the pantry and found 3 more jars of bad peaches. Ma seems to think that maybe she got some bad cannon lids this time, and to be safe she made Pa toss out every jar of peaches from this year. You can bet that I won't be eating peaches again for a very long time, if ever.